Hi, I'm Nando Reynolds, and I want to talk with you today about the difference between instant and delayed gratification. So this is about how we motivate ourselves to do something that we decide to do. And my position is that personal power is the ability to motivate ourselves effectively so that when we decide to do something, we actually do it. So I'm interested in looking at myself and working with other people around the details of how we motivate ourselves. And one of the things to understand about that is the difference between instant and delayed gratification and the motivational strategies that work well for each of these approaches or each of these situations. So let's take instant gratification as our first example. So if you are faced with a piece of chocolate, you look at the piece of chocolate and you imagine the immediate future, which is how tasty that piece of chocolate is going to be. And if you're like me, it's pretty hard to resist. So that's the way that instant gratification works. We imagine the immediate future, and the immediate future looks so attractive to us that we take natural action. And if you think about the way that the natural world works, that animals other than human beings work, just about everything that they do that is not instinctive is about instant gratification. Oh, there's that thing, I want to eat it, so I eat it. That sort of thing. It's all instant gratification. Very few examples of delayed gratification. Delayed gratification is where you actually make a plan and you're going to do something in order to get a reward, sometime down the line. Okay? So it's not an instant reward, it's a reward sometime down the line. For instance, if I want to have a clean kitchen, I need to wash the dishes. That's not an instant gratification situation. That's I have to go through the toil of cleaning the dishes in order to have a clean kitchen. And the process of cleaning the dishes is not in and of itself rewarding in the same way that eating that piece of chocolate is. That makes sense? So we have some situations where they are instant gratification situations where we imagine the immediate future, and that is so attractive that we just go ahead and do it. And then we have other situations that are these delayed gratification situations where the reward is longer term, and that is a different kettle of fish. The motivational strategy that we use for instant gratification is, as I said, imagine the immediate future, get excited about it, and do it. If we apply that same strategy to a delayed gratification situation, then I imagine the immediate future of washing the dishes, say, and so I'm imagining washing the dishes, but hey, wait a minute, that's toil. That's not very motivating. And so, as a consequence, procrastination shows up. So, if you were like me, every once in a while procrastination shows up in your life. And that doesn't show up in an instant gratification situation. It only shows up in a delayed gratification situation where I'm thinking about the immediate toil that's involved in order to achieve my long-term goal. And as I think about that immediate toil, I become demotivated and procrastinate. Make sense? So, we want to understand this because if you want to have personal power, if you want to be effective in your life, you actually have to do hard things. You actually have to do things that don't feel good in the moment. You have to take risks. You have to do a certain amount of toil. And if you don't do that toil, your life will suck. So it's really important that we pay attention to how we do delayed gratification. Now, the way that most people do that is that they use a certain amount of punishment. They use threatening, coercive methods for getting themselves to do something that they don't want to do. The difficulty with that is that in the long term, that leads to an internal climate that's a lot like martial law. It's not a good feeling. Okay? It can work in the short run, right? It's like if you threaten your child with some sort of dire consequence if they don't clean their room. Well, in the short run, they will clean their room. But in the long run, they will be grumbly and resentful of you. Okay, so if we're going to motivate ourselves in a delayed gratification situation, what I'm saying is that if you vividly imagine the immediate future, that process will be unmotivating because you will be vividly imagining the toil involved with getting whatever the job done is. So instead, we have to vividly imagine the prize. Why is it exactly that you want to do whatever it is that you want to do? And you can vividly imagine a prize, and that process will actually be motivating. Let me give you an example. Let's say that we go back to the dishes again. And so I'm wanting to have a clean kitchen. And I'm wanting to be able to have that visual sense of order. I'm wanting to be able to negotiate cooking dinner with clean dishes and all of that kind of thing. And if I vividly imagine that outcome, I can get motivated for washing the dishes. But if I vividly imagine the process of washing the dishes, which isn't the most fun thing for me, that's demotivating. Let's take another example. Let's say that I want to get my taxes done. Well, if I vividly imagine the process of doing my taxes, wow, that looks like drudgery. I don't want to do that. If, on the other hand, I vividly imagine having my taxes done, and the sense of accomplishment and clarity and just the energy flow that's available because that task is completed, now that's attractive to me. Okay? So when you're trying to motivate yourself to do something that is a delayed gratification situation, the takeaway is vividly imagine the prize. Get clear about what the prize is. Why do you want to do this? And if that prize is sufficiently energizing and exciting for you, when you think about that and you vividly imagine the future of, oh wow, that's the prize, that will motivate you in these delayed gratification situations. This even works for something that you're trying to do that's going to take you years to do. Right? It's not just, oh, okay, I have to sit down and do this onerous task for several hours. It's if you're going to strive for some really world-class achievement that's going to entail a lot of effort and practice and persistence on your part, if you vividly imagine the prize, that's the way to get yourself motivated. That's the way to charge your emotional batteries so that you do the work involved. Okay? Thanks for taking the time to listen. I hope this is helpful for you, and have a great day.